Hey there, everyone. I'm Sonya Roney, joined by my lovely co-host and better half, Jen Cameron. Welcome to our passion project and pseudo side hustle, where we ask the burning questions from some of the most fascinating leaders across the hospitality space. Good morning, Jen. We are excited about our guest today.
We sure are. So today we have the pleasure of having Fabio Viviani on our show. Welcome to the show, Fabio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so certainly very excited to have you on this morning. So we love to start out with an icebreaker, and the one we came up with you or for you is, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Best piece of advice I've ever received. Well, it's a two parts. Number one, this person told me, just if you gotta get mad about things you can't control, but get mad with yourself, because usually the things you can control, you're the one that screw them up. And the second, it was right after, and he said, and when you do that, make sure you do something right, because if you don't do it right, you got to do it twice. So do it right or do it twice, and only get mad about the things you can control, but the only things you can get mad with is yourself anyway. So it was a good one. It was a good one. My wife gets upset with me all the time because she says, I can't believe that there is not a single thing that phases you. Like, you never complain, you never get upset. I'm like, well, if I can't control that, work on it. If I can't control it, what am I getting upset for? There's nothing I can do about it.
No, that's some good advice. I like that, and something definitely to keep in the top of my mind for sure. And Fabio, you definitely have one of my favorite backgrounds, probably because we're both Italian, and I love sharing that with you. But what would you like our listeners to know about you?
Look, getting to know who I am professionally is pretty easy. There's a lot of stuff out there. We do a decent job, but keeping everybody in the loop with what's going on. But for me, the message is very simple. I moved to the United States in 2005, right? Didn't speak a word of English. End of 2005. Didn't speak a word of English. Moved out here, saw some opportunity, jumped on it. Did what I do well, which is opening restaurants and hospitality venue. Didn't even speak English, to be honest with you. English was not my second nor third language. I was fluent in French and German. German got out of the window really quickly. French, still chew on it, but very little. I had to learn Spanish. I had to learn English. So it wasn't easy. But the reality is that, guys, I'm not that smart. I'm smart in pockets, and I tended to be in those pockets. So if you get to it and you work on it and you're organized, you can build very good things, but it's going to take time, and people usually complain about that. But what's the alternative? Time is going to go by anyway. So even if it takes 10 years to do something you really want to do, learn a language, get in shape, get out of shape, or get in or out of a relationship, or build a business, well, 10 years still going to go by. So might as well take a crack at it, right? So, and I think that a lot of people around me have used that as motivation to really try to do it. Even if it takes them a little longer, what's the alternative? You're still going to grow old, so might as well do it later than never,
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I think that transitions kind of nicely into our next question is, you've been called a person that has a lot of hustle. You've been called somebody that has a natural business acumen and instinct. I think Richard Blaise had said that. What is your response to that? Or what is kind of your advice to people that are seeking, kind of that hustle that you and that drive that you have?
I got a lot of hustle for sure. Business acumen is something I had to learn. I had no clue. I mean, I screw up things before. Everybody did. There's not a single somewhat successful person that hadn't screw up a bunch of stuff. So the business acumen, it's something you can learn, right? There are resources out there. There are partners. There are platforms. There are things that you can learn and you can help educate yourself with. I invested a ton of money in personal growth, not just as a person with all the the kumbaya stuff, let's stay motivated, which is good to a point, because some days I hate get out of bed. So people that tells you, oh, Fabio's always motivated, Fabio's always on the, I am, but I hate it. Sometime I wish I was be like, fuck it, today it's just beers and PlayStation or a long ass movie and I'm binging on Yellowstone. I've done it. Sometimes you just don't want to do anything. But the key, it's not never try to be lazy, or the key, it's not always be motivated, because that shit's impossible. It's only for the people that want to charge you money to sell you motivational courses. That's impossible. The key is not listen to it. I don't negotiate with my brain, because the minute you start to negotiate with your brain, you're going to lose. Especially in business and in life, your brain is not wired to make you excel. Your brain is wired to protect you and make you achieve the end of your day with the least amount of effort, right? That's why it's very uncomfortable when you start to push yourself, because pushing yourself opens up a portion of your brain that is not meant to be the predominant one, which is the adventurous one, the risk taker, the pain, non-analogy pain and discomfort. That shit's easy. It's easy if you train yourself to do it, because it's like kind of when you go in a cold plunge. It's a perfect example. If you ever had a cold plunge, that's what happened with business. You want to try a business, you just got out of a cozy steam sauna and you're like, fuck it, this is gonna hurt. And you start to negotiate with your brain. This is gonna suck. My breath is gonna I'm gonna shrivel up and I'm gonna be frozen. And that's the negotiation that most people do in business. Instead of being afraid of getting a cold tub, they're afraid of the time that it's gonna take, the lack of money, the scarcity of resources. But the problem is that money, time, connection, ideas, branding, those are resources. And it's never the lack of resources that doesn't allow you to do business. It's the lack of resourcefulness, which is the ability to go find resources one at a time until you got it all in line, and then you can do whatever you want. I haven't even started to build the business I want to build. But so far, we have created a great foundation. We want to be the largest privately owned hospitality group in America. And I'm working on it. It's going to take time. People say, oh, you've been here for 15 years, you've done so much. Are you going to slow down? I haven't even started. I mean, what are you guys talking about? You got to take notes, because that was a warm-up. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do here.
I love that. That's actually really great advice, Fabio. Like, staying motivated, not listening into your brain. And I think, especially when you were in Top Chef, you were voted Top Chef fan favorite. And what, if any, kind of challenge does being that highly regarded present for you?
It's look, I'm gonna throw one my way. I haven't done anything. I didn't work for it, right? I mean, fan favorite. Oh, you're so funny. I'm not funny. I was just the one that wasn't a dick. Like, I wasn't trying to be funny. I mean, I'm not a comedian. I'm a chef. I don't even get half of the joke you guys do in America, because I'm not from this country. So
yeah.
You see what I mean? For me, half of the shit's funny to you ain't funny to me. So I'm not trying to be funny. I was just trying not to be a dick, because that's what I am. I'm a nice guy and I'm trying to help everybody. And sometimes I say something and it comes out funny. Everybody, literally, everybody for the last 9 years, oh, top scallops. And I'm like, top scallops. Why did you say that? You were so funny. I'm like, I wasn't trying to be funny. I got asked the question, which was, what do you think about Jamie cooking style? And I said, I don't know her cooking style, because in the last 5 challenges, all she cooked was scallops. So I can't tell you. This is Top Chef, is not top scallops. So I said, I have no idea how she cooks. So scallops is all she does. I wasn't trying to be funny. I tried to answer the question. And they had t-shirts with that. They had hoodies with top scallops. I'm like, whatever makes you happy, guys. But I don't think the notoriety has affected me at all. I'm the same guy, say the same things, which gets me in a bigger trouble now, because everybody can't say anything anymore. So, and the reality is that for me, it helps business, right? I don't care if people knowing my private stuff. Actually, if I could do what I do by disappearing, I would. Because although I'm very nice in a social environment, I'm not a social person. I enjoy my solitude. I love to be alone. And the more successful you are, the more you learn to appreciate your solitude, because people don't understand the shit you're going through. They want to have the outcomes, but they don't want to get through the process, right? And the process is eating a lot of crap. It really is. They're saying, oh, all these people that know nothing about business, they'll always tell you, enjoy the journey. Don't forget about the journey. What a journey. It's the journey's a shit sandwich half of the time. You got to get through the destination, because that's what's going to make you happy, assuming that you planned it out right. The journey sucks, and that's what everybody loses on. So notoriety, just to help you go through the journey a little bit in an easier way, finding better resources, and I'm getting interviewed for this. How many people that are about to open a franchise out there that haven't been interviewed, right? So there is perks to it, but you got to be able to manage those perks and you got to be able to act upon it, because otherwise, just like, you don't know. It's like having a GPS, but I don't have a destination to put in. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting segue into kind of the social media piece, right? You're so active and you have such a great following on Instagram and Twitter and all of that. So what would your advice be in leveraging social media kind of in that journey?
So here's my advice. And my advice is very simple. You have to shop and you have to promote in the era you're living in, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Through the pandemic, my company, my restaurant business had it. And whether anybody feels that the pandemic was overblown or was a real end of society or whatever, we're not getting into politics. We're getting into the mechanics of it. And the mechanics of it doesn't matter how you look at it, right? It doesn't matter if it was politicized or if it was a real threat for humanity. It doesn't matter if it was the harshest flu you've ever had or if it was 99.9% survival rate. None of that matters. Because that's the pitch, right? And the pitch creates the dynamic on how you go about it. Now, most business that had a good social media presence, had good technology infrastructure, had good data capturing, had good guest list, and they were cultivating an aspect that is not natural for restaurant business, which is the broadcasting of this stuff, right? I grew up opening restaurant left and right, and the only way to be successful is if you do a kick-ass job with the food and your customer service at a store level. If you like the server, you go back. If you love the food, you go back. If it's not too far, you go there. Because I have no idea in 1991, when I opened 1994, when I opened my first restaurant, that I was gonna drive an hour to go eat, or I was gonna know about that sandwich because I heard of it from someone else other than my immediate family and friends. Right now, pandemic kicked most small business ass because the lack of resources. Now, money, it's a portion of it for sure, but also the lack of ability to broadcast what you do. Because, now you got the DoorDash, you got the Uber Eats, and you're not on it. You got the Instagram, the TikTok, you got the LinkedIn, and you're not on it. Everybody has an update website, the index well with mobile. You're not on it. So you're less privileged than the people that embrace technology and understand how that can benefit the business. You got to evolve. Do I like it? I hate it. Hate everything about it. I could crack my phone in half like a taco and toss that would. But it's necessary. Mm-hmm. And if you're not embracing and you're doing yourself a disservice, and business, I have a very capitalistic approach to business. If you don't evolve and if you don't take care of your customer, that happens that unless you are able to keep up with where your hope of customer shops, you're not gonna make it. They shut down 50 restaurants for us. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't. The business still survived because we did things that we couldn't have done 10 years ago thanks to technology. We sent thousands of email blasts. We have done thousands of virtual events, thousands, literally. My company during COVID became one of the largest provider in the United States for corporate event virtually done, with meal kit ship all over the world and United States. So I didn't know how to do that in 10 years ago. That's where the world is going. You got to adjust a little bit. You don't have to change your business model because it's not going to work, but you got to stay up to date with where everybody is. You have to. And it doesn't matter if you like it or hate it. So you get something, you got to eat it. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great point. Speaking of meeting the customer, where they are today, and social awareness and brand awareness, one of your most recent concept is called JARS. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea and the concept?
Yeah, I was sick and tired of the restaurant business and every single thing that can go wrong with it. Literally, if you want to get it, talk about business that bunch of crap can go wrong and literally nothing has to do with you. Like restaurant business, JARS, small footprint, number one. So it doesn't take a lot of money to build. 1,500 square foot for your location number one is ideal. Then you can pop them in 750 square feet. There's not many businesses that can properly function in 750 square feet. Then you have the non-need for kitchen equipment, different from any hospitality. I don't care if you're Subway, a cupcake shop, or a burger place that, oh, we only flip burgers. Yeah, you know how many things can go wrong in flipping burgers? Just so we're aware. We have no cooking. We have no baking. We have no mixing. We have no fluffing, leviting, frying, no hood. There is no kitchen. You don't need any back of the house culinary expertise for jar. It's everything is pre-assembled, pre-baked, pre-cooked, pre-purchased, everything. So basically you are all you do when you enroll a jar franchisee, you get on board with a marketing machine, which is our company. I mean, if you think about it, we sold 50 locations before the first one wasn't even open, not because people don't know what they're doing, but because people that know finances, they know economics, and they understand what can go wrong in food business. They look at our business model and they go like, that's a holy grail. They figured out how to do it by taking away 90% of the things that can go wrong, right? So basically you don't cook. As long as you can find someone that can assemble, we will send you everything, all the ingredient consistently, cooked to perfection. There is now, look, humans are incredible being, and they can truly screw up everything, even when there is little to screw up. The ingenuity of a human being, including myself, to screw things up when it seems like everything should be fine, it's remarkable. So I'm not saying that the jar is completely stupid proof, but we made it with the assumption that everything will go wrong. So how can we prevent that, right? You know, there is a limited menu, rotating specials, so you don't keep stuff there that doesn't sell. And we haven't even opened the first store yet, which will open in like a few weeks. And we already have 18-month worth of calendar initiative. So we're like, everybody's shopping in 2022. We're already marketing for 2025, right? So for us, it's important because I know what can go wrong in a restaurant. I've done it. And although I can fix it, when you figure that one out on your first franchise and you're somebody that's not used to the weather in the industry, it gets very scary. So if I created a concept that takes away 90% of the question mark that a restaurant and hospitality in general can have, even the QSR space, if you really want to go in restaurant business, you should take a look at it.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense for you for kind of expanding into the fast casual space for kind of that lower risk profile. Do you think you'll continue to kind of go into that fast casual space with jars and maybe the other concepts?
I think for the QSR right now, my focus is jars. We own and operate other QSR, but I don't manage them directly. Jars is my baby. That's my legacy, right? We're gonna make jars the most successful sweet QSR chain in the United States. So mark that, because then when we get there, I can say I told you so. But with that said, I'm sure in the future there'll be other opportunity, but our focus for now in the QSR is with jars. You know, if you got a big steak on hand, why would you want to risk to screw up your big steak for maybe a couple of side sausages or a couple of sweet potatoes? Just focus on the steak. That's a steak. We got a lot of trust from the get-go. We want to make the franchisee very successful. Now, my company still own another 60 plus venue, and my company is still going to grow outside the QSR, but we have dedicated team. We have dedicated resources. We are overstaffed for growth. And me personally, jars is the one that we're gonna really take a crack at in the QSR. And there's a couple of other concepts that we're dedicating just as much love, but that's QSR is just jar.
So Fabio, I have to tell you, my coworker Nicole reached out to me and she said, "You're never going to believe this, but you can text with Fabio." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" No, about Nicole. She's like, "You have to join the community and you can text with Fabio." So I did, and I texted you. I'm not sure if you got the message, but I asked if you were going to be opening up a franchisee in Boston anytime soon. So I'm curious, what was the whole thought process about, communicating with, like, talking with your audience? Like, what possessed you to do this?
All right, I'll prove you that something went wrong.
Oh no.
You did text what number? Because you didn't text jars.
I texted Jars, join the community.
320-527-7669. Pick up your phone.
I've got it up. Hey, what's up? Since you're invited to the Jars opening starting this weekend.
Did I answer?
No, but it's okay. You said you got a lot of messages.
No, I don't screw this up. Something's wrong. Talk about this live, so I show you how technology works.
Okay.
All right. So you text when?
The first text I sent you was October 19th. I said, "Good morning. When is Jars coming to Boston?"
Wait, what name you recorded it under there? What's the name again? Sonya?
It's Sonya. So it says Jars by Fabio Viviani. 320-527-7669.
All right. I text you twice. I said, "Hi, good morning. When Jar is coming to Boston on October 27, literally a couple of days later, I say, "Hey, what's up? Since you are invited to the Jars opening, start to think about who you would like to bring, your friends and family. We can't wait to see you." And then on November 19th, you didn't answer to that, by the way. On November 19th, I text you again and I say, "Big update on Jar schedule." I said, "Due to some delay construction, we will be open third week of January." Bam.
I know, but Fabio, I felt like this was an automated response and not responding to my personal message.
What are you talking about? You text me right now. It's me.
Okay.
Being automated. Text me right now. I'll answer you. I'll show you it's really me.
Okay, I'm sending you another text.
I respond to everybody.
You do. I guess I was so curious about when the Boston opening was going to be.
But anyway, Boston, we have so because you signed from Boston, what happened? You're in the Boston now. Reach out, right? What we're gonna do? We're trying to send you relevant messages about the opening, but we're not gonna go back and forth with you because, because the reality is that although it's really me answering. By the way, you already got a reply. It's really me answering. I'm not planning to have a bunch of friends. Like, this is not like pen friend that we're sending each other text messages and letter. It's a business one, but it's really me. Now, it's me until it's manageable, right? Because once to get to 1,000 people, this is going to be a tool, a listening tools, because put all this stuff out there is great. But if you can't measure the efficiency of it, and if you can't measure the result of it, then it's just like you're playing games. Because you can't improve what you can't measure, and you can't improve what you don't know has been talked about. So these for us are listening tools. The more we listen to our customer, including the one complaining, and the more we can touch you in several ways, whether it's via text messages or via email or whatever it is, or an app, that's the best part. But also you have to be careful how to go about it. So now you're from Boston. Our first store is opening in Chicago. You voluntarily sign up to a window sticker or a promotion that says, "Text us for opening update. We would love to invite you there." So that's the communication, right? If I can clearly text you, because I don't know if you already got the message I sent, it might take some minutes because it has to go through compliance. But it's a fun back and forth, right?
Yes.
And now, though, we're talking about Boston, so we don't want to bother you either, because if any message is not completely relevant for what you sign up for it, which is update on the opening, which I gave you twice, or you have a specific question that we can address as soon as we have an answer, then it's a trial and error, right? And it's really run by human. This is not AI, this is not chatbot. That's why I'm like, there's no chance you text me, I didn't answer. Because that's factually what we do. It takes a village to properly manage a marketing campaign. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not only the time that goes into that, but the thought leadership. I mean, there's no other brands that I'm kind of dealing with on a one-to-one basis. So I can't imagine the amount of time, the amount of effort. But to your point, just kind of that one-to-one connection and kind of listening channel, I think is brilliant. Kind of to wrap up the texting conversation, is there kind of a craziest text or a profound one that you've gotten or one that sticks out with that one-to-one channel?
I get this girl from Boston all upset about it. No. It's, yes, this is a text message services. So I had to block a few people because, it's just, it's amazing how people's brain works. Like, internet is a blessing, but there's a lot of crap out there. That's why it's terrifying for me when my kid is on iPad, and I don't care what kind of parents are you. But if you're thinking you will supervise your son or daughter activity all day long, every day, you're a fool, because there is no chance. And if you think you're going to shelter them from technology and all the possible things that can go wrong, what they're listening to, what they're looking at it, whether those are good values or bad value, they align with the values of your family. If you think you're going to shelter them from out there, you're also a fool, just as big as the one that think that you can control everything they do, right? So it's really, it's almost like just try to be a good parents, cross fingers, and let's hope for the best as much as we can, right? And the same things, it takes a village to manage that, and you can't not do it. JARS hasn't even opened. And when people ask me, what kind of resources you are allocated to the franchisee? What kind of resources they did? Haven't even opened yet. This company has already a chief financial officer, chief operating officer, chief development officer, chief culinary officer, myself, full HR and legal team, 3 marketing people, including chief marketing officer, 2 dedicated social media people, and a graphic design. And we have not opened the first store yet. You think JAR is going to be successful? Fuck, I mean, there is no option. What you guys think I'm come this far to come this far? We got $1 million payroll. We have not sold 1 jar yet. It ain't gonna be successful. We're gonna make it successful. Because if you work alone, you hope shit's gonna go right, and you hope the things are gonna work out. And there's a lot of hope. Ain't working. Hope doesn't work. Now, we still have a great chance to screw it up because that's what business is. But we're not gonna do it because I do believe that we have 99% of the answers on things that can go wrong in this business. Not all of it. Didn't have an answer for COVID, but we adapted really quickly. If you spend your entire life, no matter what you're doing, reacting to shit happen around you, you're chasing fixing for the rest of your life. You're gonna be nothing else than a box of Band-Aid. That's people that live in constant fire drill and constant reaction. If you do what I do, then you learn how to anticipate. And for everything that can go wrong that we are aware of, we have a couple of options on how to fix it and how to fix it quickly. Now, there is different ways to go about it. You can fix it fast, you can fix it cheap, and you can fix it good. But you can only fix it 2 ways. If you want a cheap and good, you ain't gonna be fast. If you want a fast and good, you ain't gonna be cheap. And if you want a fast and cheap, you ain't gonna be good. So, but if you know that, then you're ready for it. But it takes a village. I laugh when people say, "Oh, I got an idea. I'm gonna work on it by myself until I make it." Well, you never will, because you're not good at everything. Nobody is. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no. So speaking of like having ideas, and you have 20 different restaurant concepts, and needing a village, what does your process look like from going to an idea to an actual execution?
So you don't go to Mars by building a rocket and shoot it at Mars. There is a process. And the reason why I believe, whether we like him or not, that Elon Musk will eventually put somebody on Mars is because he's settled to do that. And he's actually spending money, not worrying about Mars, but worrying about building the infrastructure that takes to get there. It's the same process. Building a business is the same process that I forgot his name. I should know it because it's a case study for me. There was a guy in the 60s that till up this guy tried, nobody could have run the 4-minute mile. It's a fascinating story. Google it. And I apologize, I shouldn't know. Google who was the first person to run the 4-minute mile, right? Up to this person did it in the 60s or 70s. The entire world, top athletes, had tried to run the 4-minute mile. 4.5, 4:20, 4:10, 4:15. No one could run the 4-minute mile. This guy did it. He ran a mile in 3.58, 3 minutes and 58 seconds. At the end, they asked him, I say, how did you do it? You're the fastest man alive. He said, I'm not the fastest, I'm the smartest. And he goes like, you're the fastest too. And he was like, not really. Because once I explain you how I did it, yeah, I will always be the first one that did it, which is a big bragging rights, but I'm not going to be the faster. Because what I didn't try to beat a mile in 4 minutes. I tried to beat a quarter mile in 1 minute. And I did it. Then I tried to beat 2 quarter mile, half mile in 2 minutes. And I did it. All I had to do was to do it that twice, back to back. And he's like, and eventually I did it. So the guy didn't train to run a mile in 4 minutes. He tried to run quarter mile in a minute 4 times back to back. How fucking smart is that?
Mm-hmm.
He did it. And you know what happened? Within the following 12 months, another 17 people did it.
Wow.
Some of them a lot faster than him. That's how I do restaurants. I'm not trying to build a $10 million restaurant. I'm trying to build a Monday service, a Tuesday shift, a Wednesday shift, then a Thursday one, then a Friday one, then let's hope for Sunday. Let's stay quick on Sunday. And I'm trying to do that 4 times over, and we're through the first month. Then I'm trying to do that 12 times over. We're through the years. Now I got 60 venues that have been open for a long time, and they're all functioning. Now, some of them a lot better than others, still, But if you focus on opening a restaurant, you have very, very high chance to fail. If you break down opening a restaurant in process and procedure, then you create systems that, let's call it for what it is. This is going to be very unpopular opinion. It's hard to find good people that want to work on their own. It's even harder to find very good people that are motivated and have the skill set. It's even harder to find people that are motivated, have the skill set, and share the same vision as you. It's fucking impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing? Everybody's an idiot? No, it doesn't work. We're in the people business. You got to replace expectation with appreciation and strategy. Now, appreciation is something everybody could learn a little bit more of, but strategy is strategy. It's black and white. So instead of hope to hire a bunch of superstar, hire like-minded people. What the fuck does that mean? I can't, because nobody works as hard as I do.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of hiring like-minded people, clearly I hire somebody I can work with, but it doesn't matter if you're just as motivated as I am. I'm going to give you a path that makes okay people achieve good result, good people achieve great result, and great people achieve outstanding result. But it's the damn system. It's not the runner, it's not the mile. It's a damn system. Anybody can do it. You just got to follow the system.
Actually, really great, kind of straightforward advice. I love that. And it kind of plays into this next question about opening restaurants. And maybe it's going to be a little redundant here, but what would you say is kind of the piece that's lost on the public in opening a restaurant? Like, what is the most challenging piece, do you say, in opening a new restaurant or concept?
The continuity of emotions. People are very emotional these days, for right reason, for wrong reason. A lot of people get a lot more into the semantic of the social movements and causes, and it's fantastic because it brings more aware to whether they're really big issue or small localized issue or certain group of people issue. I think anyone, any group, any ethnicity, any race, any sexual orientation or political orientation that tries to better their personal situation, it's a lot more efficient if you do it within a group of people, because it's easier to create a movement that change things on your own. Biggest problem I have with that is that a lot of people are following the masses, right? in the sense that if you're not really educating yourself on what you're standing for and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, you might be tagging along with a very good cause, or you might be tagging along with something that it turned out to be a farce. You know, in the business world, look what happened with FTX and crypto, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's excited about FTX. Tom Brady's talking about FTX. Kevin O'Leary's talking about FTX. And I'm like, hold on one second. Yeah, these are people that there's a lot of authority. But what the fuck are we talking about here? I know shit about crypto. So let me see where I'm putting my money on it. That's because Tom Brady says it doesn't mean it works. You know, just because a politician says it doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean that because your uncle says something on Instagram that's true or false either. Because I tell you what, lately I got a lot better advice from people on social media that I got from my own experts. Because experts, they are in charge of giving opinion that they haven't formulated yet. They just gotta say something. Then you break it down and things change. Process and procedure change. So the hardest part of opening a restaurant is the continuity of emotion. When we open a restaurant, there is a training process. Everybody's excited. Everybody's motivated. Everybody's on. Everybody's at top of their game because they want to look really good. Every time you open a restaurant, it's a damn New Year resolution. Are you still motivated in February like you were in December? What about March? April? You still jogging? How about those carbs? You did that? You still went back to Starbucks, didn't you? Yeah, shit. Peloton, pay the things this month, but how many strikes you got? You missed it 3 times this week. People emotion goes up and down based on their environment, the people they hang out with, how things go work, right? So the challenges in a restaurant is not the opening. Opening is challenging, but it's easy because everybody's at their best mental state. After 6 months, that's when you really measure how a restaurant is going. You're going to lose 50% of your staff likely. Somebody's going to jump ship. Some of those great servers and great chefs and great cook and great bartender, they turn out to be not so great. So creating culture of accountability and continuity, it's the key, you know, especially this time and age where culture is a big word. How about instead of just creating a culture, we are creating a culture of accountability? Because the trick is that if you create a culture of accountability, there is going to be more money to the bottom line to make everybody happy and promote a better culture with great perks too, right? And there is plenty of example every day here. Plenty of example, and things like a capitalistic economy and approach to business has a lot of downfall, but there's a lot of upside. The downfall is that once you create a culture of accountability and people produce results, the company should share those results with some of the people that help the process. And sometimes it doesn't happen. That's why people hate on capitalism, because it takes everybody's help, but at the end of the day, the majority of the share gets on certain people only, which is also fine in some cases, because even people at a lower level of production, they don't assume any of the responsibility, any of the liability, any of the monetary influx that takes to provide work for people. But I believe that in a healthy company, everybody should share with it in the happiness. Now, are we really gonna give vacation bonuses and a lot of extra money at the end of the day for an entry position like a basic cleaning crew or some? Maybe not, but maybe there is perks that after time with the company and after job performances, because if you're not reviewing in a restaurant the performances of your dishwashers, although it's a most basic entry level position that technically doesn't require a lot of technicality, without dishwasher, your restaurant is screwed. So why we don't create a system that for whatever little or not expertise is actually required to do job, there are standard of execution and there is perks if you do that well. So, and we created all that, right? That's why we don't have a lot of turnover. That's why we do have turnover. It's like everybody. It's a very mercenary industry, but we're trying to create culture and a culture of accountability at the same time. It's good to ask, but at what point, right?
So yeah, as you're talking about this like culture of accountability, you're making me think of like, Jars, you guys decided to franchise there. What was the reason why you decided to franchise with FranSmart instead of, scaling on your own?
Well, again, because I don't know what I'm doing. Meaning I know what I'm doing in a restaurant business. I think I've proven Look, if you were trying to invest money in a franchise into the food business, who would you go with? Would you go with somebody that was a lawyer or a dentist, had an idea, opened a couple of stores, and now they have 10 stores on the West Coast and is a hot franchise? Or would you go with a company that has been running hundreds of restaurants in every other industry but QSR, that has like an overhead the size of Canada, and know what they're doing in restaurant business? I mean, look, if I gotta risk my money and I don't give two crap about, I just want to be in the restaurant business, shit, go with the one that is being the winning horse. You know why everybody's upset that Croatia kicked out Brazil from the World Cup? Because Brazil was supposed to be the winner. Now, yes, it happened to be the Croatia sometimes, so I'm not saying that, investing your money in our franchise will guarantee anything, because I can't make those claims. But there is a lot better chance to succeed with us than with the lawyer and the dentist that all of a sudden turn fried chicken experts, because they haven't through hell and back barefoot without sunscreen long enough. So for me, I wish everybody well, but if I had to bet my money, I'll bet it on my company. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. As somebody who played soccer at university, it has been quite a World Cup for sure. I will say that I had France going very, very far in the beginning, so that's really been the only bet that has panned out so far.
I love a Cinderella story.
Yeah, it's been wild.
It's good for the big guys to get kicked in the chin once in a while.
Exactly.
And I tell you, from a standpoint of Italy not being in the World Cup for the second time, it pisses me off, like aggravating. But again, like I said, I don't get upset about things I can't control, so fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yep, there you go. So kind of shifting gears a little bit about technology and kind of what role it plays in your business, in the restaurants. How big of a role does it play? I know obviously you're working with us, but what are you kind of looking at, and what role does it play for you?
Technology is important because technology enables you to do things you know how to do faster, or things you don't know how to do with ease, right? Which is a huge thing, right? It's like making fresh pasta by hand or using a food processor. Same pasta. One, it takes 90 seconds. One, it takes an hour and a half. If you have an hour and a half, by all means. I enjoy doing inventory once in a while by hand because it reminds me what I got in the fridges.
Yeah.
But if I can use something that I scan a QR code, guns with, and it tell me what I got, technology is necessary, right? You're not going to shy away from it. And even if you try to shy away from it, you're going to get run over by it, because people that use technology will eventually have better metrics, better functioning, better processes, better procedure, faster responses, and more accurate one. Brains get tired, computer don't. Eyes see left and right, and camera see left and right at the same time. So it is a necessary evil. I personally don't like technology in the sense of technology, because I wish I could buy a 1,000-acre and spend the rest of my life with my son, my wife, and a bunch of goats and chicken. So I don't need technology for that. I mean, I could do it for some things, but I'm not the IT guy. I shouldn't be a spokesperson for an internet technology company, because I'm old school. I'm trying to go backwards, not forward. If you look for progress, don't look at me. But I realize that technology is fundamental to be able to achieve performances, metrics, and analytics that it's impossible to do it by yourself at a scale of a size of the business I want to have. So somebody like you guys, Interface, you're an aggregator. You bring in the internet, the Wi-Fi, the security, the AI that allows you to figure it out if your money is well spent. Because one of the questions I had for your company is, what if I put a couple of cameras in the kitchen? Can I track movement? Not necessarily because I want to sit in front of a computer and check if the dishwasher sit down 5 times. I'm going to figure that one out anyway. I don't need technology to do that, because it's a function of sales versus ability of producing. It's an old argument that technology just help figure it out faster. But I want to see if out of 20 times that somebody walk, they have something in their hand, or they are just wasting movement. Because for me, it's important to organize my business in an efficient way. If I can make you do the same 10 things with 30% of your energy, everybody wins. So it's important, it's fundamental, and whether you dip your toe or you just full on head on a cold plunger in it, you're not going to have a lot of choice. So the sooner you embrace it, the better it is. Like my kid, It's got a fever. I want to get him honey with garlic and few other things, and it tastes like crap. And he's like, I hate these. I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna hate the fever more. So just shut up and do it. It is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up. There is a lot of things I hate that I gotta do it, and might as well I do it, try to enjoy it, because you're not gonna avoid it. You can only push it, and then it's got more of the things you hate later. So just get it out of the way.
So what do you think the next big tech trend in the restaurant is going to be? Now that we're on the other side of the pandemic, we see all these restaurateurs like adapting and changing. What do you think the next big thing is?
I think for some places, automation is big. Not for traditional restaurant. I don't want to see a robot flipping my burgers.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not there yet. I'm all about the AI, the maximization of movement and space and security and inventory control. I get that. I still think that the day that I sit at a bar and there is no bartender to talk to and a machine makes my old fashioned, it's probably the day I'm going to start to drink at home, because I'm like, what am I talking to, right? There is an old school charm in human connection that no machine can ever replace, which is scary, because if you think about it, you're spending most of your days minding other people's businesses via social media and online. These people give two shits about you. So we already lost that kind of a human connection, and I'm guilty as charged because I'm in my office right now. I gotta go upstairs in 5 minutes, and my wife has been texting me, and she's literally upstairs. Like, she using text message services between floors in my house. By now my mom 20 years ago be yelling, "Where are you? Come up here!" And for as much as I hated that, I hate these more. I hate the text messages more. Yeah. You're missing out on everything that's going on in the world because of technology, because you're always head down doing something on your damn phones. But some technology helps improving quality of life, because if you can work faster, more accurate, and spend less time on it, ideally, you have more time for real connection, not for Twitter or Instagram or see what your ex is doing. Who cares? So I love technology, and I hate it just as much. But some technology is very useful. And if you're smart about it, it gives you better quality of life. And a better outcome in business too. A company like yours, it takes the headache away from me to deal with 4 different companies for phones and Wi-Fi and camera and security and inventory and all this crap. Now I got you. Call you, pleasant conversation. Be like, yo, we got to do these 5 things. You guys come in, fix them up, give me a phone, another app. I look at it and it's done. I like it. Yeah, it works.
Couldn't have said it better myself, for sure. And we want to be respectful of your time as you're getting ready to go upstairs. But my last question would be, what is it? Do you have a rule or a motto you kind of live your life by?
I think that especially this day in time and economy and social tumultuous and all the things that get people upset for whatever reason, this is the best one for me. I like to live my life in a way that I always tell people, you do you, right? There is few things I draw the line, right? If you're not a good person, you're not my people. If you're messing with kids, you're not my people. Aside from that, there is very little things that truly bother me, right? And I think that and not because I'm better, worse, or different than anybody else. It's just personally. I think that every person that is my people would agree with me on where we should be drawing the line. Socially, morally, economically, financially, politically speaking. I don't even have anybody that represent me politically speaking, because I can't stand most of the talking point of either parties. But what I tell people is try to be a good person. If you're a good person, you and I can get along while disagreeing on most way how to go about our personal life. Half of my friends are different ethnicity. Half of my business partner most of them different sexual orientation, different political party, and we're building one kick-ass company because we all understand that doing good for people can come from all sides and all direction. As long as you're genuinely meaning to do well to people, you and I can disagree on a bunch of stuff, and that's okay. I don't have to do what you do. I don't have to think the way you do it. We can agree to disagree. We show ourselves well, still share a meal, and still build a kick-ass company. Then you're going to go on your own and do your things, and I might don't join you for some of those things. You know, a lot of friends of mine, they love tequila. They go to tequila parties and they drink tequila. I hate tequila. I'm not a fan of tequila. I drink some good tequila, but it's not my thing. Now, if you want to go for bourbon, you better call me. You know, for me, it's just simple. It's just, guys, I'm not wishing you anything else than love, happiness, wealth, and health. I just don't want to do this, or yeah, I love to do it with you. I think more people should go back to that. Right now, it's like, I don't like cats. You all should get rid of your cats. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with my cats? Don't be around me if you don't like cats. I want to get cough syrup every time I have cough, but I need you to get cough syrup. And I'm like, I want cough syrup. I got honey, garlic, and ginger, but that shit's it's not approved by the FDA. Who cares? Works for me. You do you. I don't care. Whatever you want, right? I hate electric cars. We should all drive gasoline guzzler. I own one, and I also own an electric car. There is a place and a sense for both. Can they coexist? Of course they can. And if you can think that something can coexist aside from very few things where I absolutely, those are hills that I'm going to die on, you know, everybody should be getting along. What the fuck? What's going on out there, guys? Fucking everybody chill. Like, seriously.
Could agree more.
Right?
Yep. No,
that's my motto. Just try to be a nice person and get along with everybody. You know how much easier it is? You know what? Blonde, brunettes, curly hair, straight hair. You look, who cares? Like, yo, are you a good person? Yes, then you're welcome. Let's have a dinner together. And during dinner, we figured out that we have more than a couple of things that we don't agree. Okay. I don't want you to get run over by a bus. I still wish you well. I hope you change your mind about a few things, but good for you if you don't. You happy? Good for you. It doesn't bother me. And that's why I think we're building a good company here, because we understand that. You know, and why wouldn't you want to wish somebody well just because they disagree with a few things that you know, 99% of these people are good people on this planet. There is idiots. There is criminals, and there is absolute moron on they come in every shape, every size, every color, every political orientation, anything. There is morons everywhere. Right now, we're just very good at highlighting tiny pocket of those idiots and sensationalizing them and make it mainstream. Just these are like non-existent problems. Let's focus on 99% of good people out there. What are we doing here? Oh no, man, it's like weird. It's getting weird. But I'm trying to build a tank, like, right? We don't get affected. I mean, COVID didn't take us down. So what's next? They gotta send the dinosaur back to bother me. Like, what's next, right? If we went through the last 2 years, we went through it, and somehow we made it. I mean, unless dinosaurs come back, and they're not gonna take us down. I mean, what can aliens? Okay, fine, aliens. You can't fight them off. But aside from that, what can possibly go wrong? Let's just agree to disagree, and let's do good and move on.
No, for sure. It's definitely the wild, wild west out there. And honestly, Fabio, from Jen and I, like, you know, place where we often hear no more than when we hear yes. Thank you for saying yes, coming on the show, like giving us all, you're dropping bombs of wisdom on us. Like you can't put a price tag on that, seriously. So thank you for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of hospitality. And that's all for today's episode. We will see you next time on Be Our Guest with your host, Jen Cameron and Sonya Maroney. Thanks, Fabio.